Alright, all you mouth breathers, welcome back. Today I got a game of attrition on Angel City, playing some Titanfall. And what I wanted to talk about is the first time I went hunting. And, it's been a few years. It was back before I graduated high school, and I graduated in 2010. And we went up there for Thanksgiving as me and my stepbrother Tony. And, we were up there for 5 days. We went hunting all 5 days. Now, the first 3 days, by day 3, I was already getting discouraged because, we hadn't seen a deer. I was just thinking, oh man, never gonna see one. This is pointless. I don't like it. He told me keep my head high and, don't get discouraged. So, I didn't. Day 4 comes around and, we seen a few, but we couldn't get any shots at them because of how far away they were and there were too much trees and shrubbery in the way. So, I was like, oh man, well, we'll just try again tomorrow, the day that we're supposed to leave. So we get out in the woods. We got out there probably about 5 or 6 that morning. We hadn't been in the woods 20 minutes and we scared some does up out of where they were bedded down at. And I turned around and looked back at him. I said, we're going to get one today, I feel. And then, morning turns into noon, then noon into early afternoon. And we're walking up this old logging trail where the trucks used to go in and out after they got done cutting down timber in that area. And, we scared one out of a place where it was bedded down, and it moved so quick we didn't get a good look at it to tell if it was a buck or a doe. Excuse me. So, we followed it back up, and then it had stopped and was just moseying around on top of the hill, and then, he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, yeah, that's a buck. So we tried to move around where we could get a clear shot at it, and when we did, it seen us and it took off. And he threw up his gun and he pulled the trigger, and me, that being my first year, I froze. So he said, it's a buck, shoot it. So I threw up my rifle that he was letting me use as a little 30-30 lever action, and I threw the scope up to my eye, and I seen the underbelly and the chest area of the deer, and I pulled the trigger, and that was the only shot I got off. And then it ran back through the woods, and we went over looking for where we had shot at it, and we got to looking around where it had kicked up the leaves and stuff, and then we found some blood. And we were like, oh god, yeah, we hit it. So we started looking around, then we found more blood, and then about 50 yards from where we shot it, it was laying down dead. And we got to looking, and he had hit it in the leg, because when he hit it, it spun around and came back towards me, and that's the reason I was able to get that chest shot on it. And we were looking, when I hit it, I blew the entire chest cavity out of the deer. And I think I hit it was on the run at about 30 yards. I mean, I'm proud of it anyways, but yeah, I hit it on the run about 30 yards, blew his chest cavity out, and then he showed me, where to put the knife in and how to cut it open. And then once he cut it open, he said, make sure you don't rip the stomach, because if it gets on the meat, it ruins the meat. So I just started pulling everything out, guts, intestines, everything. I grabbed the heart, pulled it out, and a bunch of people think that's nasty, but honestly, to me, excuse me, it smells like, kind of like fresh manure that you get at Lowe's, honestly, is what it smells like. And, that wasn't really the bad part. The hard part was, tying the rope to it and dragging it out of the woods. It felt like I had to drag it at least a mile, over hills and stumps and under trees and all that other good stuff. And it was heavy. And then by the time we got it out to the road, there was a bald spot on its rear leg where I drug it so much. And then, I was thinking, it'd be really great if my Uncle Charles came by here with the 4-wheeler right after we killed this. That way we could have got it out. And I was telling him this on the way out. We were almost out to the road, and here comes down the road my Uncle Charles on his 4-wheeler. And it was just, I was like, oh, yeah, that is my luck. I mean, we got him back to the house, and we hung him up. And then the next day, before we left, or no, actually it was that night, we skinned him and cut all the meat and stuff off of him. And then, you're supposed to, we got the antlers off of him, because we had to cut it off of his, or cut a section of his skull out and everything. But before we did that, because we had to cut his head off, I chased my Aunt Mandy's kids around the yard. And my Aunt Mandy's kids and Sully and Sammy, my two little brothers, around the yard with the dead deer head. I mean, that was pretty fun. I mean, they wasn't, freaking out or nothing. They were actually laughing and giggling because his tongue was sticking out his side and it's like it was making a funny face. Anyways, yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about today. Get a video out, keep all you happy. And, I mean, if you all ever been on the fence about hunting, give it a try. It's a really fun experience. I mean, you're not going to get something every time you go out. You shouldn't expect that. But, I mean, just being out there in the woods with nature, it's a really relaxing experience, but it's also a very fun experience. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I intend on doing it up until the day I die. So, I mean, me, myself, after I got done with AIT, I went to the Sportsman right up the road from where I live and bought me a 308 rifle. I mean, it's still got to be sighted in, but I fully intend on putting it in the woods this winter. So, I mean, that's today's commentary topic. Let me know what y'all thought about it in the comment section below. And remember, never go full hook. And we're out.